Hi there, it's Hal Feldman, Miami Hal, and it's another episode of the Miami Hal Real Estate Show. I brought back one of my favorites, Javier Gonzalez. You're back.
I'm back. Like a bad rash.
Okay. Javier is his full name. Javier Gonzalez and I work at Remax Advanced Real Estate. We've known each other for many, many years. We have respect for each other. And once in a while, we get into some friendly competition on things.
Absolutely.
But more importantly, we have a personality match where we just enjoy each other's company when we get together, right?
There's been a lot of fun. Have a good time.
And so one of the things that we talked about for this show as a theme is to talk about why people get to be successful in real estate. And I'm not talking about the agents. I'm talking about the clients that we have, right? So I always sit down with people that are potentially going to be my clients. I say, listen, to be successful in real estate, you need two things, just two. One is a competent local agent. Hey, guess what? That's me.
That's you.
And in your case, it's you.
No, that's you.
Okay. Competent local agent.
Key operative or confident.
And a personality match. And I can't tell you how important that personality match is. So today's theme is about real estate agents having personality matches with their clients and the good and bad and ugly in between that, right?
Lots of it.
So I am going to invite our guests that are watching on YouTube or Twitter or Facebook to get involved. Our Facebook channel is the easiest place. Just type a question. We've got the screen up here. We'll be able to answer those, but today I'm lit. I'm ready to explode. And I'm glad you're on the other side of the glass here. So
don't worry. I'm on the same boat today.
Okay.
So, yeah.
You're late.
Yes.
You almost didn't get on the air today.
No, because for all the listeners and all the viewers out there, one of the things that we have to do is we have to manage a lot of personalities, and most people don't realize that. And we have to manage personalities within our clients, but we also have to manage agents. And the other day I got a call and said, hey, listen, I want to show your place down on South Beach. I said, go, fine. I just got to be somewhere at 2 o'clock. So the guy wanted it for 1 o'clock. So I told him, listen, I can't do 1 o'clock, 12:45. Perfect. Confirm. He confirms with me a little while ago. I'm there on 12:45. 12:45. I sent him a note at 12:30. Hey, I'm a little bit earlier if you're available. You get that call. Well, I'm 15 minutes away and it's 12:45. And you're thinking to myself, okay, 15 minutes away from 12:45 is 1 p.m., which was the original conversation that we had. Oh, but my person's really quick. I'll drop her off. Okay, that's fine. You still get there. And at the end of the day, the person says, oh, and can I see the amenities? And it's like, oh, this is not going to go well. Yeah. So I broke 37 speed records coming out from South Beach to get down here.
Good. So no tickets, right?
No tickets
okay,
that I know of yet.
Red light cameras. We got to watch out for those.
Exactly.
So when we're talking about this, I am a type A personality. Did you get that? I'm a type A personality. And so I was trained in my prior career that every second counts because I was working in television on the backside. I wasn't in front of the camera. And when somebody said you needed to be on the air at 6, 17, and 23 seconds, we were either there or we were fired. Yeah. So you're just talking about somebody that you had multiple discussions with, 12:45. This is how we as professionals are going to service our clients. And they still show up 15 minutes after that. What the hell? Yeah. Why are we in such a mañana culture here in South Florida?
It's unfortunate. It's just the way that we operate. And it's something that's become acceptable, and it's not, professional. We've always talked about one of the conversations. It's not how you dress. It's not how you are. It's just that you're professional in how you, take care of clients, take care of agents, vendors. Same thing with vendors. If you have a contractor coming out, and these folks their time is valuable, and it's like they have no respect for your time, and it's frustrating.
Is that getting worse as we continue down this path of de-evolution?
I think the quality, from an agent standpoint, the quality of agents that we have to deal with, I think, are all based upon where the actual business is coming from, where the location are. And if you're on South Beach and you try to get somebody out there at 9 o'clock in the morning, that's never going to happen. But, you have to work, you have to accept it. So I think it's really where you're working, what areas you're working, where you see the agent level. I think that's really the biggest thing. I don't see it any worse. I just know that if you're in a certain area, you expect it, don't expect. It's more about just anticipating that.
We talk about how agents conduct themselves And the lifeblood of an agent, and I'm sure it's the case for you, is not the person that finds you somehow, somewhere, Google, whatever, and calls up and says, hey, I'd like you to sell my home, or I'd like to go look for homes. It's more about the prior relationships you've had and the referrals that come from them. And what I keep learning deeper and deeper every day is that if you get a referral, you already have that you have the road is paved to a personality match. Because if I serviced a client very, very well last year and one of their friends needs to sell or buy, and I get referred, hey, they're going to be very similar to their friend. So do you have any great stories about a referral that just was slam dunk, and why it worked, not just for you, but for the client, and why it was special to get something done?
I think last show I mentioned the little blue Volkswagen that came up and turned into 200 transactions. Right after that, it was funny. I had a client that called me up, referred by this individual, and they said, hi, we talked a little bit and said, what are you looking for? This is what I'd really like, is a little Key West style home. And that's what I want. And this is my price. I think the price range was under $300,000 at the time. It was going back to early 2000. And so we do brokers opens on Wednesdays. So I'm looking around and I see a house, and I drive by the house, and I pull in, and there it is, a little yellow Key West house under $300,000. I call the guy and I said, dude, get over here with your checkbook. What do you mean? I said, just get over here with your checkbook.
This is it.
He came in, bam, 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 signed the check, done. And that was it. It was a one-day transaction.
And there was something beyond just the professionalism. It was a connection that you had with that person that made that
because of the referral.
Yeah.
So the person that referred me already knows and says, hey, listen, this guy's not going to be in a suit and tie. This guy's going to be out there, but he works hard. He works hard at his craft, and and it gets done. And I think that's really, from a referral standpoint, you got to treat referrals as 100%, because that is somebody that trusted you and is actually putting your name out there. How many times do you hear, I don't refer anybody? That's just a lot of times that they haven't had good experiences.
That's true.
So I think the key is to always take care of those clients.
And to be a good agent, not only do you need to have people referred to you, but you need to have a network of people around you that are not other realtors necessarily. They are the inspection companies, the title companies, the movers, handymen are huge. Let me tell you, handyman come and go, but if you don't have a bunch of them at the ready, you really can't service your clients well, can you?
No, it's at all levels. It's not only single family, but on a lease property, and you do have to have these individuals available to you, and they have to be. They're hard to make sure that they are always on time, because that's just the nature of the business.
But it reflects on you too. So if you refer a great contractor, and that contractor in the end is going to do a fabulous job, yet on the first day, they're 15 minutes late, like you just had today on a different case, your name's mud.
Yeah. Right? And I think sometimes after you're dealing with these vendors, you kind of can prep it. And then you go back to your original comment that already you're being paved. The road is being paved. So if I tell you, Hal, I'm sending you such and such, but hey, he may be a little bit late because he's got a lot of work, blah, blah, blah. You're already paving it. You're managing expectations, which I think is something else that we do very well. Good agents manage expectations.
And so again, back to the state of real estate and how things get done today, we honestly have to manage expectations very differently than how we really want to. Because I know that you take great pride in your business, as do I. And so we would like to see things go from A to Z without any side steps, but we're guaranteed that there are going to be issues because of the nature of what everybody else is doing. So how do you do that prep work and keep people on your team, in that partnership?
Yeah, I think managing expectations, I think, is one of the key elements that you can say, listen, these are the potholes that we may encounter. We may have an agent that is difficult. We may have an attorney that is difficult. We may have an inspection company that's difficult. So all of these things, as you start with experience, you kind of can already tell, hey, this is where this deal may go south. And I think those are just the fact that you're dealing with experienced agents. And we talked about it last time. Zillow can't do that for you. Now you're managing and you as an experienced agent have seen these things before. And that gets me another topic. We won't go to that.
We probably are going to hit that a little bit today because I'm still sore.
So I think at the end of the day, it's how we manage it because we've seen it before. So we know we have a troubled attorney and somebody that's going to be, confrontational. You already know, okay, it's going to go down this route, and you prepare for it.
I have a partner who I worked with and I live with now, and she is beside herself today. Right. Just like you had an experience, she's had several experiences just today where she really, the core of her is honest and wants to do things by the books and wants to have her clients become friends. Right. That's the type of person she is. Right. And the industry doesn't allow it. And she is particularly today beaten up.
One of those days.
We have, and I know you wanted to talk about this as a topic, and we'll get to all these, I promise you. By the way, Hav and I, if we can get a 2-shot, okay? Hav and I have been on the phone back and forth to each other about what to do about this show because we have such a good time. This is the second time you've been here, and we're now going to make a promise. We're trying to figure out exactly what it is, but Hav and I are going to do a show together. We are. This is going to become a much more regular thing.
We'd like to.
And so we're really hoping you'll give some comments right now so we can get a sense of where you want us to go with all this. But it's going to be the Hal and Hav show. And we will take to the airwaves or the internet waves, whatever you want to call them.
As I like to call
interwebs.
them.
We'll call them the interwebs. Yeah. And we're just going to have fun because, we can sit here and talk to you about interest rates. We can talk to you about how long it takes for inspections to happen. But you know what? That's the mechanical stuff that you need an agent to work with you on. There's a lot of fun stuff and a lot of frustrating stuff. And if we talk about it and basically do therapy with each other,
therapy work,
we can help those people in the audience understand that real estate it's not easy.
No.
Although there's lots of jokes about to get a real estate license in Florida, you just fog a mirror and you're good.
Yep.
But, and that's true. But the vast majority of those agents should not be handling a client, right? No. Just take your license, place it somewhere, and go do housework or do internet sales or something because real estate's tough stuff.
If you failed your first test, do not be in real estate.
Right to the camera again, please.
If you fail your first real estate at Gold Coast, please do not become a realtor.
So we're going to get to this now. Now I'm going to start. I told you I was a lit fuse when we sat down. Yeah. I tell my future clients, I am here. I'm going to give you 100%. And I'm sure you do the same. But 95% of the agents that have licenses right now shouldn't be doing this. And so we together as a team have to figure out how to traverse this landscape of really bad agents, condo and HOA boards that are not doing things either properly and in some cases illegally.
Yeah. Been there, done that.
Again, frustration of my partner right now. She's got somebody doing something pretty much illegal. And what are you going to do? You're going to fight that illegality or you're going to try to get past it. And it's a frustration of hers. Frustration of mine as well. It just keeps compounding that way. And only the really experienced, dedicated, honest people are the ones that should be doing this because these are huge transactions for people that maybe 3 times in their lifetime are going to spend this kind of money to have a place to live, right? So
one of the things that I've always been too that I can't stand is when everybody talks about a real estate transaction as a business. Most people, this isn't a business transaction. It is a business transaction. It's a financial transaction, but for them, it's an emotional transaction.
Right.
And when I hear people, especially us that have been in the industry for a long, long time, somebody says, this is a financial transaction. For these individuals, it's emotional. It is something that to them causes stress, causes a lot of things that they don't usually have to manage. And I think our position is to make that as smooth as possible. When we get incompetent individuals screwing this up or trying to make this into some type of power play, it just doesn't help anybody. Listen, if it's commercial, I'm all in. Commercial, buyer beware, and we're all professionals. So let's have at it. But when it's a residential property, when it's a rental property, and you've got people clogging the wheel, it's like, come on, man, we don't need to do this. Let's make this transaction easy for the individual. And it doesn't. And I was a condo president for 10 years. I'm a CAM man. I'm a licensed CAM. And I can tell you that I see
are
some
a glutton
boards
for punishment.
Oh yeah. I can see some board people that are just like, they just don't get it.
Yeah. So we're talking about making it easy for the clients, and it's a relationship game.
Absolutely.
Where they're the emotional ones, or often are the emotional ones, and we are to hide our emotions and to take the emotion out of it so that we are working on this at a financial level.
Correct.
In the overall success of the transaction. I think a lot of people don't necessarily understand or appreciate that as agents, we are not, completely one-sided. We have to see both sides of a transaction until you get in contract, and then we're all working together, right? So how do you manage something like that? Because lots of complexity, but you have to make it look simple for your client. And then we're going to go to the simplicity, of Zillow.
I think I've always used, my personality from a humor standpoint, but just keeping it light and trying to keep it as casual as possible. If we need to get into some nitty gritty, the nitty gritty is there. We can all go confrontational if we have to. The goal is not to get there. The goal is to make this, work and make it go smooth. I've had agents where I've told them, listen, just step away, and I'll take care of it. And just show up at the closing table. And I'll handle all aspects of it because, you're going to mess up this deal or you're going to cause issues that we don't need. And I think, that's really from a personality trait. And that, going back to the original conversation, is that's what your clients expect. Your clients aren't, they want me in a suit and tie. Well, that's not going to be me. It's going to be somebody else. So I think knowing that you're getting your referrals, knowing that these people are coming back, knowing that they trust you, knowing that, you're trying not to BS folks, along the way. Those are the key elements that keep you, in this business and keep your clients coming back to you.
So again, back to, we create simplicity, and human nature, especially now with their smartphones,
Yes, they are.
They believe that there's an app for that.
I used to have a brick.
I may have a brick because I'm going to throw it in something real soon. Yeah. But in what I want to point out is that everybody wants simplicity. And it's promised by these apps on phones and these websites that say, click here for mortgage.
Right.
It's not, and it cannot be that simple, right? It's an advertisement to entice you to try something, but then there is a lot of work behind it. So we're going to briefly, because I know you could go off on it for about 4 episodes of this show. We're going to talk about Zillow again, but in a different regard.
Okay.
Zillow is I believe, a great tool for somebody to go and look at an area where they're hundreds of miles away and they've never been there before, and they can get a very good sense of what an area is like and what pricing is and how much their budget can purchase for them within a particular neighborhood. But beyond that, that's where Zillow really has its strength in mathematics and statistics. And that's not what buying a house is, right? Or a home, I should say.
No. It's a third-party site that's an aggregator. So at the end of the day, any of these sites, be it Zillow, be it even our site, Realtor.com, if we were just looking for what I call real estate porn, just to go look at pictures.
And Saturday Night Live,
I know.
Right? Okay.
To go and I need to get that in. But if you're looking at just the pictures and the sites and where it is and the map and all that stuff to give you an idea, great. It's all the other stuff that goes with it, which they need for their business model. That is the issue. So let's say you click on this agent thinking that you're clicking on either the listing agent or a knowledgeable agent. Basically, you're clicking on somebody that's been paying for an ad, and that agent may not even know anything about the area. Right. And, I've had that happen for years when this all first started. I used to get a kick out of that. People used to show up and the customer didn't know who their agent was. They would come up to me, oh, hi, Fulanito. And it's like, no, I'm not Fulanito. I'm, the listing agent. Oh, where's my agent? Oh,
I don't know.
We'll find him.
Yeah. So that simplicity of pressing a button either on a website or on a Zillow app or whatever, it can actually be extremely detrimental.
Yeah. It creates more confusion than it's supposed to do.
Can anybody purchase a piece of real estate without a real relationship with a professional?
If you're a professional, of course.
Okay.
If you're a pro, like we're pros, so we can buy our own stuff.
Yeah.
But I truly think that if you're at a certain level and a certain price point and not, no.
Okay.
I think you should hire someone or have somebody, a confident that can walk you through the aspect of it.
All right. So Zillow's got good math and some basics, and you have, and I really give you tons of credit for this. About 10 years ago, we were in an office meeting, and you said, "That's our enemy," and you knew it early, and that enemy keeps getting bigger and bigger. And now in the last month or so, we have truly learned that it is going to be a tremendous foe, not only to us as local agents, but as to the industry as a whole.
Absolutely.
They have found crevices and are blowing up areas that they have no business being in. So briefly talk about that.
I think from a business standpoint, if you're let's say you're not a real estate agent, you're from the other side, you're saying, you're cheering it on. Oh, this is transparency, or we're going to get to this old antiquated system. And again, we have an antiquated system and we do have some flaws in it, but these new apps or these two things are not the cure-all. And again, they're going to revert back to the fact that they're going to have agents. How they manage those agents, that's going to be a different story. We've talked about that before. Will they become a CarMax? Will they become, some other type of industry? But it will, if they continue to move the way they're moving, they're going to change the industry. I don't think it's going to be for the better. I think it'll be for the detriment of the client, or the client accepts it, and the client becomes, they find that this product serves them for what they expect. And I think that's the difference. If you lower expectations, you start to lower expectations, people get used to that.
For sure.
So if you're up here, but you lower it down to here, and that's what these folks are being taught. Hey, this is real estate. It's really easy. It's right this, blah, 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 blah. Then all of a sudden you're managing their expectations. You're lowering them.
This is really interesting. It just came into my head. So work with me on this analogy. Used to be that, you wanted to go buy a man's suit, and you went to a local clothier who had been in business for 50 years. And, the old man's going to come and fit you for a suit, and then figure out what works best with it. And you're buying a couple of pieces of clothing, right? That come together as a suit. But what you're really purchasing is the experience of a professional that's done this thousands of times before. And that same experience can be had so much more simply by going on to Amazon and going, well, that's a brown suit with stripes on it. And I got the right size. Bink. Is that what's happening to real estate?
I think that's what they can try to get to, or assume that they can get to. I don't think it's going to happen, because of the sense you use the thing about the suit. By the way, I'm a husky. I've always been husky, which is, I don't even
look husky.
I don't even know what that size is, but I was a husky. But again, that is a talent that is second to none. You look at it and somebody can tell you this is the size, this is that, and how they're going to measure out, how they're going to shape you. I think real estate is going to be the same way, and all these, and there's not just Zillow, there's going to be tons of them coming out to that. And I think, again, my big thing is, if they lower expectations, which is what I think will happen, and it's what I think that you will tolerate an incompetent agent, because that's what's going to be, employed, then that's what you're going to expect.
So how do we tell people don't tolerate that? How do
you keep your
good agents?
You keep I think you keep your referral base strong, and you keep making sure that you're satisfying those needs. Because I have a listing a little rental listing, and I got most of the leads from Zillow. These people are wanting to know, but again, you look at it and you're thinking to yourself, okay, they don't know who they're talking to.
Yeah.
They don't know what an application is. It's like, now you're going to have to babysit them through the whole thing. Guess what? You're still using a realtor.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about, again, Zillow and a lease. Okay. So all of us, when we get a new listing, which happens to be a rental,
right,
you put it into the MLS. That's the job of the real estate agent and the brokerage that they're working with.
Right.
So you put it in, and of course it's now active. It's available. Okay. Instantaneous craziness happens because we're in that type of market, right? As you put it. And then 5 days later, you've got the thing under contract. You got a lease created.
Right.
And so you put it in the MLS status as pending.
Mhm.
Okay. It does not close until there's approvals and they actually get keys, right? That's when you can say this is closed.
The big R.
Now, what it used to be in Zillow is when you put the property into pending status, Zillow would put it into pending status. Now they don't. And it drives me, and I'm sure you, a little crazy because I'm not sure why Zillow does this. They still want activity. So I have people that have called me not only on a pending, but a closed rental property. It's now 3 months after it's closed, and I'm still getting people calling me. How is Zillow serving their, the general population, the real estate agents who are paying them to be in Zillow? Who are they serving other than absolutely nobody?
They're serving themselves. They're serving their board members. They're serving their stock position, and they're actually advertising and getting a lot of agents to buy into the program. These companies would not exist if we had, and we've talked about this, that one little magic button that says we want this property to not go to third-party aggregators, and that's it. And that this would be solved completely. And they could call them back and say antitrust. No, you don't. All you do is just say the seller wants out, because that's at the end who we work for, or the buyer wants out.
That's true.
It's that simple.
That's true.
So, but that's never going to happen because they make way too much money by selling all the ads to everybody else.
How did you do this to me? I started off telling you I was going to be lit.
Sorry, I'm going to take
and
off
I was
on another. I'm
energetic,
taking off.
and the therapy has started
There
to
you
work.
go. There you go.
It's nice to get this kind of stuff off our chests. But what, again, we're really trying to do is with clients that are working in the marketplace right now, trying to find something. I've got a really nice young couple, and their parents are involved too, and they're looking for their first house.
Right.
And the market's too darn hot for them, right?
Yeah.
So they send me listings every day. By the time they send them to me and I open up the email, several of them are already pending. And the other ones, they can't go see them because they work. This whole thing called working for a living. And so at 6 o'clock, most of the properties aren't showing in the evenings. It's tough. And so we all just have to keep going and plugging away. And it's a whole lot better to plug away with somebody that you truly feel like you're partnered with. And I certainly offer that, and I know you do too. So in the last couple of minutes we have here, you've got a fan base from the first show. I know. They said get Hal back on.
Let's get out here.
Let's get them back online. So tell them what you want to tell them, and we'll face camera center.
I think I think one of the things that this is really, and I sent out our original one out to a lot of my clients, and they said, yeah, we do want to see this more of this, because you're talking candidly, and you can actually get some stories out there that people can relate to, and there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that most people don't see, and that's really what the worth of an agent is. The worth of an agent is collaborating with other people, but just having the ability to skill set to. You send me 30 listings, I can tell you from the get-go, 22 of them aren't any good. And I think all of those things are valuable, which as it starts to actually become more the word's the mediocrity. I think it's just going to
lowest common.
Yeah, you're going to lower the expectations or the value of agents that are good agents. There are bad agents out there. That's without a doubt, without a fact.
Don't do business with them. Come see one of the good ones.
And we're not perfect. We make mistakes also. But I think at the end, you last in an industry, and in a true industry where this is your number one source of income, because you have some skill set. And I think those are very, very important for the viewers and clients to know. And I think clients at the end understand that. I really do.
And so you brought up a great point. If you have to work with a real estate agent, and you should, and you're listing a property, does it cost you any more to work with a good agent versus a mediocre or a bad agent?
No, not at all.
Oh, it doesn't?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
I actually would tell you it does cost more to work with the cheaper agent, because the commission's going to stay the same. Yep. But if you've got a bad agent working for you, or somebody that you don't have that personality match with, we talked about at the beginning of the show, it's going to cost you in communication, in headache. And frankly, I think that if you aren't on the same page with your client as a real estate agent, you're going to lose on the negotiating table because you have to come with a common front and a common goal, and you need to understand what the goal of your client is. And that's what I do every day.
Right.
So,
and I missed the point of your comment. That's why. So I apologize.
you got to pay attention.
Yeah, no, I did.
I
I was looking at the commission side alone. So sorry about that one.
Listen, Av and I have a blast. We do care if you're watching, but even if you weren't watching, I think we'd come and do this.
Absolutely.
So we're looking for comments. I know it's the middle of the day. We didn't see much on the board while we were doing this live, but if you're on demand and you have something you want to hear about, or, hey, Hav and Hal, do this or do that, please let us know, because we're going to be doing this many, many times in the future. Until next time, I hope your real estate dreams come true. And again, Javier Gonzalez from Remax Advanced Real Estate.
Exactly. There you go. Thank you. Thank you.